What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and today we've got a comparison between the brand new Google Home Hub and the Amazon Echo Show 2 2nd Gen, the new one. And these are both voice assistants with screens, obviously, to kind of enhance the experience. This is just like an Amazon Echo, and this is just like a Google Home, but they have screens. Now, the Echo Show has a 10.1-inch 1280 by 800 resolution, and the Google Home Hub has a 7-inch 1024 by 600 resolution. They got some weird numbers going on here. Now, something you'll notice with both of these is that they've got their speakers all in the back over here. And the Google Home has a pretty moderate sized speaker, while the Echo Show, pretty massive. That is a huge speaker over here. So you know what we gotta do, guys? We gotta test out the sound quality. Hey Google, play Travis Scott Sicko Mode. And it's got buttons on the side so I can bring up the volume.
Yeah. Going on you with the pick and roll. Young Flame here, Sicko Mode.
The beat drop was kind of weak.
Like it didn't
Not
lead up.
Yeah.
It was like...
The bass didn't really, it didn't smack us. Alexa, play Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. This also has volume buttons right at the top.
Yeah. Going on you with the pick and roll. Young Flame here, Sicko Mode.
Alexa, stop. The fact that she heard me is actually really impressive because that was loud, guys. That is insane. There's no comparison here. None at all. This one sounds way louder, way better, way more bass. This is a clear winner. But you are paying for that difference here in terms of sound quality and overall size. This guy goes for 230 bucks, while this guy retails for 150. Now with these voice assistants, you gotta be able to ask them some questions. So let's start off with the Amazon Echo Show. Ask it a basic question like, Alexa, what time is it in Tokyo?
The time in Tokyo is 5 a.m. on Saturday.
Hey Google, what time is it in Tokyo?
The time in Tokyo, Japan is 5 a.m. on Saturday.
Now something Google's always been able to do is answer follow-up questions based on something you've asked already. So I can say, hey Google, what's the temperature over there?
In Tokyo, it's currently 63.
See, I didn't even have to specify that it was Tokyo. But if I were to ask Alexa, what time is it there?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So no follow-up questions here. Something that Google's always been able to do, so that's really nice. And when it comes to actually being an assistant, these can both add things to your calendar, read what's coming up on your calendar, but there is a little bit more functionality here with the Google Home. All you have to do is tap it, and you can kind of get a look at important information, so upcoming calendar events, the weather, things like that. While Alexa, you'll probably have to ask, any upcoming events on my calendar?
On Monday, October 29th at 7 a.m., there's flight to San Francisco.
Okay, so there you go. You guys see some flight information. This is what it can pull up. And while Google will be able to tell me the same thing as well from just a tap, or if I ask it, hey Google, tell me my next calendar event.
The next event is called Flight to San Francisco, UA1848.
And obviously they can both add to the calendar if you make a request. Now something they can also both do is control your smart home. For me, that is the biggest reason why I have these guys. Being able to control my smart home is so important. And we're actually turning my house into the ultimate smart home, or at least I'm going to be attempting that. So I'm actually really trying to figure out which of these is gonna make it into the house. You guys will see future videos on this entire place and what we use to deck it out. So you can expect to see my answer on which one I will use there. But when you're actually looking at these right now in terms of smart home controls, you can also just tell them to turn off certain lights, certain things that you have connected. But if you want to use their screens, with the Google Home Hub, you can actually just swipe down, and with this you'll have access to all of that information. You can actually just go into lights, and then you can see all the different rooms that you have set up and take control of them from there. And I actually like that it's segmented here, because with the Amazon Echo Show, you can actually go ahead and hit lights and more. Now here you can see which rooms I've actually created and groups that I've created through it. But what would have been cool is to see it broken down like the Google Home has it here. So right here, you guys are seeing each and every room instead of just a list of groups, and then under that, a list of every product that I have in my smart home. Now, something else that I like about the Google Home is that I can just say, hey Google, show me pictures of my dog.
Showing your photos.
And then I can pull up a picture of Cookie right there. That is something that is really, really awesome. Look at that. Ain't she cute? Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm not sure if the Amazon Echo has that kind of functionality. I don't use the Amazon Photos app or their cloud storage for photos or whatever it may be. It's just a little bit easier to access my photos and tell it to play a slideshow from the photos that I already take every day rather than, I don't know, whatever Amazon even offers. Not gonna lie, never looked into it. Now, something I'm happy that Amazon offers is the ability to use apps like Hulu. So I can say, Amazon, Alexa, show me Naruto on Hulu.
Here's what I found.
And we got all of the OG Naruto ready to go. Is it dubbed and subbed? Always go subbed, guys. So you can view things from Hulu, and I don't know if Netflix is available yet, but you have access to streaming apps, which is really nice. But with this, I think you only have access to YouTube. Amazon Echo does not have access to YouTube because they're like at war with each other. There's just no way Google's letting them have YouTube. They had it before, they took it away. Okay, Google, play Your Average Consumer on YouTube.
Okay, playing Average Consumer on YouTube.
What's going on, guys? It's Your Average Consumer, and today we're taking a look at some awesome tech. So I think being able to watch some UAC content on your assistant is all the reason you need. You can't watch me on this, guys. Don't even try it. No, I'm just joking. But you do have that YouTube functionality over here instead of over here, but you get Hulu. So this is something that is a bigger device. Let's say you have kids in the kitchen waiting for you to finish making dinner or something. They'll be able to watch something on this much bigger display with way better sound. So the viewing experience for watching media, I will say, is far better on the Amazon Echo Show. Something that's also pretty interesting with the Echo Show that you can't do with the Google Home Hub is access a web browser. So you can actually just say, Alexa, open up Firefox.
Here's Firefox.
So boom, right here you have access to Firefox. Can you play YouTube videos from that? Didn't YouTube block this? Let's see. Oh, you might be able to just watch content from here. So look at that, guys. If you really, really want to access YouTube, you can always go into the web browser and start playing a video right from here. Now, another bit of functionality that you get with the Amazon Echo Show is the fact that it has a built-in camera. So if you want to talk to someone else who has an Echo Show, or maybe even the Echo, what's that small Echo? The one with the circle? The Spot. Bam. So if you want to talk to someone with the Echo Spot, you can do that. This one does not, although it does have this ambient light sensor. So with this, it'll be able to control the brightness and the color temperature so that it's not hard on the eyes, especially at nighttime. It'll sense that it's night and it won't have a really bright screen. So that's kind of the benefit of this one versus this. You get either a camera or the light sensor. Choice is up to you, but I think I like the functionality of having a camera a bit more. Hey Google, can you play games?
All right, which one would you like to try?
And check this out, guys. When it comes to games, the Google Home has quite a few right here that you can have access to. So this is actually really cool. What is this, Mickey Mouse Adventure? Let's check that out.
Hiya, pal. It's me, Mickey Mouse. Would you like to go on an adventure with me?
Okay, so that's really cool for like kids. I can imagine them really enjoying that and just like kind of hearing the story and being involved because they ask a question and then they answer it. I think that's really nice. Now with Amazon Echo, you have skills. So you have different kinds of games that you can play here as well. I'm not sure if any of them are visual, but let's see. Alexa, play Jeopardy.
This is Jeopardy!
Oh, check that out.
Thanks, Johnny, and welcome, players. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for joining us again. Now, let's see how well you do today.
So that is actually really cool. I did not expect to see like a full-blown Jeopardy screen with the question right there.
Yeah, because when my parents and I played, like, where it was going repeat.
Yeah, but now you can read it, and that is really cool. So they both have gaming, Jeopardy here, which is not for just kids. And I think there are other options on the Google Home as well. But right now, if I had to make a choice between the two of them, find out when we do building our ultimate smart home video. But these are both still fairly new. I want to spend a bit more time with them. I want to know if having an awesome speaker is worthwhile, or if being able to see personal information, or maybe even seeing my photos from my albums. I want to know which one resonates with me a bit more, so we'll see what I choose. But let me know what you guys think. I'll have a poll in this video. I want you to let me know what you think is the better option right now. Remember, this one goes for about 230 bucks versus 150. But before we wrap up this video, guys, we gotta give a huge shout out to our sponsor, SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe is a home security service that monitors your home 24/7. So if there's an emergency like a break-in, they'll notify both you and the police. And they offer a ton of different devices to use with their service. I'm talking security cameras, motion detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, even a panic button, which I think is really cool. So if you've got something going on, you hear some weird noises, you probably don't want to use that button too much, but there is a panic button so you can get in touch with the police and not have to worry about finding your phone or something. And you guys know we just moved into this house, so security is on the forefront of our minds. I know for my man cave, I'm gonna wanna have a ton of different sensors and whatnot going on down there so that I know if someone tries to mess with my tech, I'm gonna be covered. And what's also nice is that the system is actually fairly priced and it's equipped for the worst case scenario. So if you lose power or the Wi-Fi goes out, you don't have to worry, it'll still work without power coming to your home. But overall, guys, I am pretty happy to be partnering with them. With all the tech that you guys see on the channel, you know security is a really big deal for me. So if you guys wanna learn more about SimpliSafe and maybe save even 25% off your order during Black Friday, be sure to check out simplisafe.com/UrAvgConsumer and learn more. But that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be the cool guy or girl that gives this video a thumbs up. Definitely let me know if you're excited to see this whole building the ultimate smart home video. But till then, guys, it's your average consumer. Peace.